We're filming this, in other words, to really then take it to a wider audience so that we affect 42,000 students that exist in the Archdiocese, and most especially those areas that, are more challenged.
I'm Anisha McClatchy. I'm connected to the school because I work here, as well as I have a daughter here.
Okay, terrific. What do you hope for today?
Solutions in dealing with trauma. Okay, so my trauma is I lost my mom, my kid's grandmom, in 2023, late 2023. They were very close to her, and they were still fighting to cope with it. And then fast forward to 3 months ago, they lost their dad.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Take your time.
It's a daily struggle because the student who's attending here, she lashes out with anger. The eldest, she has become more introverted. But at the same time, I'm dealing with trauma as well because this was my partner for 15 years. So how do I deal with helping them cope with what they are going through while I'm going through it as well? So that's my question here.
Sure. Thank you. I think you just identified what we had already talked about, but with such a personal witness, I'm just so sorry that you had to give up someone you loved and someone who loved you, that had been your rock for 15 years, and then your grandmother, or your mother, and so much loss. This is what ordinary sort of realities you are facing, but what you also just talked about is how children react differently, don't they? You were saying the same thing in the sense of she comes home and something's wrong. One of your daughters, you said, is just angry and just always angry. And to me, that's just where it is. And I think that's what we need to help you deal with, what you're experiencing and the loss and the real horror of what does it mean for you to be a single parent now without any support from your elders, without really having that partner. I'm just so sorry, first of all. I'm just terribly sorry. And do you have friends or do you have other family that are there for you? I think this is why Father Sergio was here too, that we need, when you're faced with such horrible circumstances, this is where we know that a community matters. And when you have people in the community, when you have, like what you were referring to in the sense of other parents watching out to make sure the kid is, your child is studying first and then they play. When you have other parents looking out for your kids and you likewise look out for other parents, that's one of the first solutions that are really important. But there is no solution in many ways for losing someone who's been the love of your life, unfortunately. And that to me is just a horrible reality and tragedy. And I wish I could take that away. I really do. But I think that's why we need to support you to figure out, how do you manage your trauma? How do you manage your losses? How do you manage and cope so that you can be the best parent you can be? And I think that's one of the solutions I'm hearing right away, is help us manage what feels so overwhelming, and help us manage our own grief and our own suffering. That's what I'm hearing in all of this.